All right, guys. Good morning. Happy Monday. All right. So, usually, let's see, how are we doing on time? We're a little behind schedule. 15:20 is usually when I start, but we'll go ahead and get started here. Let me move over where I can see what's coming. Okay, Ilya, where have you been, man? That's the first time I've seen him post for a while. Longtime member, giving me a ripple to the dollar tether here. I think, Ilya, I think what you sent me was the 5 minute. This is what you sent me here. So it looks like you're doing some shorter term stuff here. It's for me to just get a sense of where you were. I went out to the 2 hour here just to get a feel for what you're doing here. So this I'm actually in this as well. And I talked about this a little bit over the last couple of Bitcoin Fridays. And this came from a live stream. Somebody posted, and I thought, that actually looks quite good. Yeah, it may have been. Yeah, I think it was, because he's been all over this. So I like this. So this is, this is just, I don't have to do anything here. This is beautifully done. I like your color coding over here on the volume profile. Okay, so this was a little, it was a little bit of a, are we done yet? But look at the nice 5 in there, just pretty, it makes me laugh, right? When people say, oh, Elliott Wave doesn't work in crypto. There's nothing to do with whether it's crypto. Okay, so here's the nice 3 that takes us into a 2. Now this is, we don't get a great start there. So maybe that's why you were on the smaller time frames there. Let's go to a 30. See if we can make this work here. So you're kind of stuck with that. Right? I mean, is there subdivision there to give you a clean 5? Well, they all break down at some point here. But the basic structure, this looks very reasonable. I'd count it the same way, right? That looks very 4-ish. We're just chopping. Oh shit! Actually, you got a couple of things in here. So, you could just keep labeling here. Look, you got this one here. That looks like that's your part of that. Let's go way down here. So that looks like you got 1, 2, 3, A, B. Oh, Jesus. I think you could do that. Because here's your clear triangle. So that looks like the 4. So, I got to move fast today, so I won't dwell on that, on the sub count here. But 1, 2, 3, I'm going to guess you probably measured that. I'm going to guess you did. Look, I show this every week. There's never a chart where boom, where are we looking for the wave 3? I mean, even here, if this was an internal, because there is an impulse there, looks like you might have had a funky A, B, or W, X, Y, because this triangle here is very prominent. But just the fact that we're right in the pocket there. So whether it's here, given where we are now, with that flying off of it, and then we get 2, 6, 1, 8. Just out of curiosity, if this is the 4 here, or this is the 4 here. Interesting. So if we put it here, I think this fits better here. Can you work that right? So we can't have a triangle in the 2. So I was looking at that saying, could I go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? This is a little dicey. Oh, fuck. This is can get overly obsessive on the subdivision here. Does it matter right now, right? So this is me just kind of for my own head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've got an impulse here. So right off the bat, now this is the kind of thing, right? This nice detail here. Shit that does not happen randomly. Right? So you look at it and go, oh, come on, man. Right? So we get a slight overlap here. Now let's just see if we're tight on that. Yep, we are. So we got a little bit of a conundrum there. Now, a straight purist, you can't call that you'd have to go 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 diag, which actually may play just fine here because that's such a slight overlap. I wouldn't, not trade this off of that. Now, so what we'd look for here is just for some additional confirm here. Oh shit, what have I got on? Oh, that must be yours, Elliott. Let's go to, we'll just go to a measured move. Sorry, suffering allergies badly today. All right, that's just things that draw your eye, right? So if you were going to envision where we might look for some support, this is the other thing that I just draw your attention to. You've got the big volume. Now this is visible range here, but I mean, you can just look at the bulk of this trading here. On a retrace like this, where you have just a flyer, where it's just, some liquidation, somebody just got bent over here. Often you'll see the pivot right before the low volume node. If it's going to hold here, they'll take it right to the edge. Right to the edge. And before we get into that little divot, because if you get too much further, then you're likely to drop to the next high volume node. So they come down here and just wick it. But it's just enough to take a purist out of this as an idea that we're in just a straight. Oh, shit. It looks like you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not pretty down there on this detail. This almost doesn't matter where you do it. We'll stick with your count. A, B, C into the 3. So, okay. Elliott, I don't know if you're in this or not, but anywhere in this congestion here, it's kind of the same idea. You got a high volume node right there. Zoom in there a little bit, see if there's anything else we can use to guide us there. So it doesn't look like we're quite to a 50 yet. I'd like to see that come down a little bit lower. This looks like that's 786. So a good B, just shy of 786. Looks like you'd go, 1, 2. So you have to do it this way. A, B, C into that B. Now we're pretty far there, but that makes me think that we could have a classic measured move here, which we do. So we have, I don't know, but there's a set of median lines on that as well that would be useful. All right, so we got the wick right through it. This has come down and to and through, but note here. So this is length. This is the A. This is the B. Length of the A projected from the B. So that 100. Have that structure over here. So here, just out of curiosity, since it's corrective, probably put I'll put a 25 on that or a 1.5. Let's go try that. That kind of contains it. 2.5 might have gotten it just right. So if you're looking here and you're working on the assumption that we've got something impulsive that's underway, even with the overlap, could be we're going to do a 5-3, 5-3, 5 diag. Well, 1, 2 looks like there's an ABC in there. When you have that kind of wick like that, and I know this is something Monte Crypto does a lot as well, where you kind of take out that wick because likely that's just somebody getting liquidated. Is there enough here? I kind of will go back and forth on those. Let's zoom in there. I might wait a little bit. Wow, it looks awfully skinny. Your candles are really skinny here. Boy, this is just a free fall here. All right. I don't think you really got the complete, it's not quite done there. If it's, that's a little ugly. So I would be very mindful of the fact that those are the lowest closes. So we get this big support reject. Well, let's call it that, right? So I wouldn't want to call it support so much as it's a rejection. So down with the price, and quickly that gets just slapped right back. It's not particularly clean here in terms of, I can see the clean 3. So the Elliott may not guide you as much as you'd like here. So we've got a clear resistance zone, and there's just this massive support zone. It looks like you might have to go WX. Well, it looks like that's how you'd have to do it. A, B, C, W, X, A, B, C, Y. If this is going to hold as R2, I can't say I love that. I might wait for a little bit more clarity on this. Are we going to roll over again? Looks like that might be, come here. What do we get here? Well, let's go to the dominant. Okay, so we can, See the algo at work here, right? So you understand what's happening there. This is the higher high. This is the lowest low. If I get right on it. Come here. There we go. Okay, so all of that wick action here, that's just algo defense, right? They've got a target down here, which I kind of like that better. I don't love this count, but looks like, so maybe you get a WXYX and you're going to go another ABC. I like it a lot better down lower here. So this would be, let's just something down in here. A little high volume there. I might wait for that. You know, if it takes off your, well, so this would have to be, relatively shallow too, which again, it's not that terribly uncommon, but you'd have to go 1 right into the golden zone down for the 2. I kind of want to wait and see what else you got here. Oh, we got a MACD, RSI. I don't know why that's all kind of wonky. You're kind of in no man's land here. That's not good enough for me. I see. I mean, Ilya, I understand why you're in here. I just, as in terms of a setup that I might jump on right now. Like, oh, look at that shit! I've got to jump on it. It's a little wishy-washy in here. I don't see enough to say, oh, I got to go lower. Come down into this zone here, and even we just fatten it up like this. Come down a little bit lower. Maybe we got to roll over one more time. Then I like it a little bit more. I think. But now with the danger here, right? So if you're in, you're probably okay, right? Stops down here. If that's the 2 and this starts to go on you, then it's going to be a little tricky, because then this would have to be the 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't look like it would take it far enough. So if this is the 2, you're going to need a 1 in the 3. So if we label that up, if this is the 1, 2, that's not going to be far enough. I mean, I always say, again, 3 doesn't have to be. You could just use the 100 as, okay, do I have a solid impulse here? We could have the extension in the 1, right? We got to qualify it. But if this is 1, 2, you come out of here, you're trying to take that 1, 2. It's not good enough for me. You're going to run into some resistance down here. That looks a little choppy down there as well. So this would be, as I said, I'm already in this. So I wouldn't be looking to add right here off of the idea the correction's done and we're in a 1, 2. Not quite sweet enough. But your work, Ilya, is very good. Nothing to not like here, and holding to the idea that we got this 4. Now, in the back of your mind, there's always the little bit of a, we did overlap that. So if you get into a problem, that you're likely back here going, uh-oh, do I have to relabel that? So for me, this would, and again, I'm in this, so this wouldn't be me jumping to add here, but come down a little bit further, might get more interesting. All right, let's keep moving because I'm kind of short on time today. I mean, I have a full 2 hours. I've got a 2 o'clock thing. All right, Ilya, glad to see you back and posting again. All right, let me move off to here. I've got, these are the other 4. So now I've got Frayed 57 with Luna. Let me, let's try that over here. All right, this looks interesting. I better copy that so I can dig in there. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. Geez, I'm just... Okay, Luna to the tether. All right, this is, this is the thing guys will do. Put them up here. It always takes me a minute to adjust to that. All right, so what are you giving me? A 4 hour? Let's pull out just a little bit. Make those go away. All right, so 1, 2. We looked at this last week here as something that was particularly good looking. Now this is interesting. So 1, 2, that looks like the pretty solid 3. I'm just going to change that color so I can see it. 1, 2. Boy, crypto's a bitch on the 2s. So we get just a complete interesting. just sideways 2, and then look at all the volatility in the proposed 4 here. So that's nice work, Freight 57. So of course you want to do that, right? Obviously, right? You're thinking, oh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, all self-contained, but that's a bit of a stretch to call that a 5. Even let's go down to the hourly. I'm gonna just pull that off just for a second. You kind of stuck with it. Oh, look at the subdivision here. How good this is. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 finishes with that C. So boy, that's A, 3 in the B. Boy, that's nice. Nice work there, Freight 57. But boy, it's what a disappointment, right? Because anybody who's trading this was looking for that one more push up here, and you had the 5. Well, now it looks like this is what's underway here. So, there's a 5 to finish that. So we got to put that over here. So extension in the 5. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, extension in the 5, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4 down here for this to get you the 5 to give you the C. I like it. This is nice, Fred. You probably have kind of an odd set of median lines here. Well, that's kind of interesting, but let's put that back in original. So even though we're looking at a correction here, when the B or when the secondary pivot here is above your anchor pivot for the median line, because of that, now I would keep it in original as opposed to the more traditional where we'd have, the B here, and then you'd put it in shift looking for that lower edge, because that's not what we're getting here. Although that's kind of interesting as well. Looking for that median line down here. So boy, this is hard not to like it. I might use that. Well, that looks like what you're using. So I'd use that right there for your entry. Lay it out rather nicely. So, a couple things, right? Just might as well use the tools. If this is the 1, and if that's going to hold is the 4, well, here's the 100, right? It's the most common. 5 to have parity with the 1 or very close to it. So now this whole thing, that whole buy area starts to look pretty. Oh, Jesus, must be Monday. Looks pretty solid. And what's interesting about that, this non-Elliott traders will be a little confused here. Oh God, what else? You don't really have much else to work. I suppose you could just, call this all just a box here before we pop up. So coming back into this, there's no volume profile on this. He doesn't have it. All right, but so I think you're right. You're spot on here. So you wait for this 5 to complete, and I think this is where Elliott is giving you an unfair advantage, right? Because we can determine what's happening here. If indeed, right now, there's no guarantee that it comes down here and finishes in this pocket down here. So I might start buying here and keep a little bit of reserve here if we're going to come down and tag the median line and get closer to the 1618. That'd be kind of far. So here's the most common, second most common, third most common. So if we're going to come down here and get the median line here, it looks like you've got another median line here as well. Anywhere, so I would fatten this up and say, I might start here at the 100 and continue to buy to the 1272, stop maybe under the 175. No need to give that a shitload, right? So you don't need to give that all of this room. Look what it does to your risk reward. Now we're under 3 to 1. So I'd keep it on the tighter side. Here, let's pull out and see about that target. So it looks like here you're just going for a double top. I think you could be a little more ambitious than that. Although, boy, come to think of it, you may be right. Well, okay, so you don't. I mean, to take the length of the 1 and project it from the 4, you don't have squat, right? Because you're such a narrow. The depth of the 2 is, while relative to the 1, it's deep. There's nothing there, but there's really. I think you're right. I don't even. You're just kind of stuck with that, and well, yeah, you're stuck with it. You got to account for it. because this is the lower low. So, and you know, right, if this gets in trouble, you might be back here truncating that. But right now, I think this is a good count, right? Even in log, it doesn't, you barely get any sort of benefit. It kind of looks like a 3. Oh, but here, let's come out of log. So if you were just going after the upper targets here, well, that's interesting. Look how we got this upper parallel. I didn't even see that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, A, B, waiting for the buy zone down here. And you've got all of this kind of structure over here to work from. Well, you need to go that low. I do it in here. So anything in here starts to look pretty attractive, right? This is highly desirable project people want in here. So I think the Elliott traders have an advantage here. If you get a 1, 2 here, looking for that 3 to come up and complete, we're still trying to complete the 5 of the 3. So all of that implies that we're not done here. Lots more to go. That's good work, Freight 57. Well done. It's a tricky count. It's very tricky. Just try to leave this. It's going to be too abrupt, modified too much. Inside's going to go this. So you're stuck. You got to keep it in original. You may not bang onto that. But you can see you got to be worried about the fact if it comes down here, you know, maybe we're back here recounting this, which is why, so even with the median lines right here, even though you've got this one kind of as your last buffer, and this would be the dominant, right, per the trend, just, you know, you can come down here, hit the median line, hit the lower parallel, then you may be relabeling on this. So there's just one more reason to not give that too much room, because it is vulnerable to come down to the lower parallel and get that median line. So that's what I think there. But you're right on the right track here, and this is very good work on a tricky count. Nicely done, Fred. All right. Okay. I got Hibby Boy. Oh, God, I don't know this one. 1 inch USDT. Let me get that up. 1 inch? I don't even know this one. Do you know 1 inch? I don't know this one. This is 1 inch. Okay, so let me copy this one. Oh, I don't know what they do, but 1 inch is? Yeah, I don't know them. Okay, well, this is a little funky. This is, well, you got to like the structure here. The geometry all looks quite nice. So we don't get this to the tick, but certainly this even just traditional Elliott here, just the 0, the 2. Well, I wouldn't sweat that. 1, I got a golden corner here that's underway. So it looks like that's a nice count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hard to argue with that. He's diagonal to finish it. That's a bit of a cluster. 1. Yeah, it works. So I see. You get your 1. Interesting. Okay, so but not too far from what we looked at with Bitcoin. Actually, this looks similar. Where it looks he's truncating here because you have just this wick. So. Oh, same thing as before. So, you know, go to a line chart. Sometimes that will just clarify it for you. You get a better feel for it. So this clearly liquidation wick, quickly rejected. Now back to test. Test holds. So that's, I don't know, there's another golden zone here. So they're probing down here. Now here's the golden corner coming out of that. Looks like you're coming 1, 2, 3. So looks like you got to go with the 3, A, B, C into the 4. So you're at a 50. So if we label it up, which I know he would do normally. So we got to work with so it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So well, I'd take this up a degree. Okay, so 1, 2, we're just getting started on the 1. You've got, that's a little slight front run looks like here. So you've got this is an unrealized golden corner. So we're still not to that 50 yet, or to that set of median lines here. So this is just sitting up here waiting. It looks like you got a good start here because so far, right, you've got a higher high, almost. Well, you need to finish one more leg up. Looks like that's going to get it done, which might get you right here to the algo target. So 1, 2, right? So we look for the 4 in a diag from the start of the 1 through the pivot of the 3. We're looking for the 50. We get it. So you got this cluster up here. This looks nice. Right? It's good work. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This looks like 1, 2, 3. We'll probably try some sort of triangle. That looks like 5 down. So either it's 1, 2, 3. You're kind of stuck with it. You don't want to go to a flat if you don't have to. Oh, there is? Oh, okay. Let me do that. Oh, okay, there it is. All right, so now I see what he's thinking. Okay, ABC. Well, let's see. Let's look in here. I know you wouldn't miss something like that. So that looks like a 5. That's the only thing that I was pausing on. Because if you go, it's not quite a running flat. So let's label this up. 1, 2, 3. Can we get? You might have to live with it. Oh, that's a stretch. That's a real stretch to call that a 3. I get you there for a fuck. But see, this is such a clear 5. I'm reluctant to call this the B. I think that's too much a force fit. So you want to go 1, 2, but you got a shitty 4 here. Even let's see, 15. Can we get anything better there? A little better here. Okay, but we can get it. Okay, so we'd have to go A, B, C, like this. And well, this is it's a bit of a, actually it looks like you can get it. All right, so you can get a diag in there. 1, 2, so you can finish that with 5. Looks like that's a pretty clean finish. So these are the times when it's worthwhile to go down to a smaller time frame. Just say, because at first glance it doesn't look like you can squeeze a 3 in there, but I think you do actually get one. Okay, so now I think that helps us a little bit more, Hibby, in that, because that looks like a good 5 and that looks like it's technical. So so if only this algo was in crypto, things would be so much easier. 1, 2, 1, 2. Do we have to finish that here? Well, so this is just, again, you measure twice, cut once. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just at first glance, based off of this. That's not ideal. And we are on a 15-minute, but given the depth of that, I'd want to be pulling all the way. So we got to live with a 535. We might. Well, we can't do a 535 ending diag, so we're a little screwed here. This can only be leading. Well, I suppose it could be the one of a bigger move here. This is your problem spot, right? See, I know you want to call that a 4, and I don't think we can make that work. I think that's a stronger 1, 2. Well, of course, Jesus, right? I suppose you could go 1, 2, 1, 2. But now the balance is getting off here. This is a tricky one. Right, so if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, it's getting out of whack. I'd rather go, let's take this down here. I'd rather finish this. You might have to. Here, I got to change these colors. There's too much yellow. I'll get lost. 1, 2. All right, so this would leave me no trade. I'm not sure what we got here. I want to go 3, 4, but then it doesn't work. This is a clear 5. So 1, 2. Is it long enough? Maybe it is. We could do it. But now, well, see, you've already overlapped. So 5, 3, 5. You can't. It's got to be leading. You can't finish with it. What are we going to do here? I think you're kind of stuck. You can't finish it up here. What am I missing? 1, 2. I can. All right, let's see. Where are we? Context is everything. Okay, so let's come back to the hourly. Could we be in something larger that's corrective? Okay, so we're working from this 1, 2, 3, 4. Our problem is our finish here. How are we going to get that to finish? So what is this your alternate? Is that you went? Oh, that's his alternate. Okay, so I see what he's doing. Okay, so we might be able to do it this way. 3, 4, 5 finishes 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C gives me my 2. Now here's our problem child. Yeah, I think that's a better fit actually now that I look at it. Okay, so 1, 2. So we finish this coming out of this 1, 2. This is just not mature enough yet to really know what it is. I think this is a hurry up and wait for which way we go next. I don't think this works here. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, but I can't finish. Now, Jesus, am I overcomplicating here? Could we do this as an ABC? Boy, yeah, I guess you could. You'd have to expand the B here. Okay, so let's relabel on the fly here, see if that works better. So if this is 1, 2, so you go A, B, C. So this would have to be, okay, so that works. You'd have to do it like that. A, B, C. A, B, C. We have to do it that way. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B. Fuck. To do it this way. A, B, C. Boy, it's just too much. Could be this, could be that. I'd be in hurry up and wait mode here. So Elliott is a little confusing here. So things that I do see. Okay, so we got real structure we can play off here. Testing that now. This pivot, if it's going to go up one more time, maybe we got to finish this with kind of a bigger 5 here. Then I'm going to take that all off because I think this is until we get one of these pivots breaks. I don't know what you guys. It's hard to squeeze that into a 5. I think that's a bit of a force fit. So you're sitting with a 3. B, C. Right now, that's what I see here. So that looks like that is technical though. Slight break. Definitely enough of a break. Here you're in the pocket. This hurry up and wait. I don't think you can trade this here because there's just too much uncertainty, right? So I always come back to if I'm that uncertain, why risk money? Okay, so let's think about it. If it goes up here and I end up and I get some sort of a 5 here, well then I'm likely then this pivot here is what the algos responded to. Does that get me done here? Well, yeah, it would. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not where you'd prefer to find a diag like that, but it would work. So you could get this to complete 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Well, so you'd be back to calling this a 5. So you'd be back to this as a 5, which I think it does actually. And we'll see, right? So if that works, so you're finishing it as a diag, but it's a little iffy. But if I gun to my head here, somebody said, "Are you a buyer or a seller?" I'd definitely be a buyer here. Just a series of higher highs, higher lows, right, all the way. Here was the correction, so we're coming off of that correction. I'd be a buyer here. This is too. It's too narrow for a set of median lines, but maybe the channel is a better fit here. The median line is going to be too like the correction doesn't take enough time to make that worthwhile. But right here, okay, so we're above the Vegas wave. We've got a short-term trend we can define just through a series of higher highs and higher lows. Pretty big volume rip here on the push up. So if I were anxious to get in here, I'd be on the long side, but I'd have some. I wouldn't give it a shitload of room. I'd give that, well, maybe just the other side of the Vegas wave, something to say, okay, if this is going to come down deeper, then this count starts to fall apart. If I don't hold this, actually, you could use this pivot. If this pivot breaks, then something else is going on. This may be a B or some sort of corrective thing that's happening here. So I think you actually have a pretty nice trade here with relatively low risk. So just use the top of the channel. This would be the maximum I would give it, is coming out under that pivot, which would take you under the Vegas wave. Well, there you're at 3-to-1 here. If you're going to get the upper median line, get your golden corner. Remember, that's a golden corner coming out of this. I think at 3.7-to-1. I mean, so is there a trade there? Yeah. Is that favorite? No. Oh, he's on which 4 hour? Daily? Yeah. Yeah, I like the, okay, so let's get this out of here. So this is the first one right now, just in terms of, is there a trade here right now? This is the first thing you're trying to, okay, I see what he's done. So here's your target. So 1, 2, this is the golden corner. You're just trying to get to that median line. If it gets there, well, then likely all you've done, oh, come here. All you've done is just complete the 1. Come down here, be looking for that 3, maybe up here, 4. So this would be trying to complete the 1. Okay, I'm with you. I see where you're going. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2. So this just looks like we're working on the 1. So it's 1, 2. We're trying to finish, and this is what's a little sloppy in here, trying to maintain the trend here. You don't really have it. You're going to have to get through this. Not there yet, but that could, so on the way to the median line, that might get you there to get your 1, 2, but it's not going to be 3. So it has to be 1, 2. Well, so it's very bullish. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, unless you get a big rip here. I don't see another way to count that. 8 hour. I feel like I'm missing something here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, so you got to account for that. Well, my thought was maybe we finish up here. And this is the 4, but now you're back into a diag. It kind of still leaves you with, we're working through a 1 here. So coming off of this 2, we're struggling to get that 1 done. Well, this is a tricky one, no doubt about it. 1, 2, 3. It's too bad that didn't hold there and gone. That would have been easy. Right now, again, you're just trying to finish this thing. Whatever this is needs to finish. And then I think the whole thing kind of starts to clarify. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if I finish here with this 5, even if it's a diag, okay, maybe I finish with a diag here, gives me that first 5. And then looks like this is what he's suggesting. Now we're coming back down into that 3. So looking to complete. So here's the 5 he's after. 1, 2, 3. Could be, right? We got to do it in a diag. Tricky one. It's not ideal, right? So you're not getting perfect Elliott here. You don't often get perfect Elliott, right? Sometimes you do. I mean, everything until that is quite good, but this is just you trying to, it's a bit of a guess. But again, as I said, if I'm taking a trade here, I'm on the long side because what's dominating the decision-making, that golden corner still hasn't made its 80%. And this being technical, you had this one in there as well from that 50, not even to that target. So you got a couple of, well, here's second target. Boy, that would be pretty right there. All right, it's tricky in there. So, but don't feel like you have to trade. Like sometimes that feeling like, okay, it's oh shit, I'm going to miss it. If you're not sure, don't take the trade. You take them when it's like this. Oh, okay, right to the 50 on a diag. I know right where I want to be here, right where I want to buy it. Here, it's a little bit, you're rolling dice. Why roll dice? There's so many things to trade, so many setups. Why take an iffy or I'm not sure? It's never any reason to do it. Let it clarify. You're not going to, it's not going to the moon without a retrace, right? We can't even get to the median line yet. Wait for something that fits with what you look for, to where you see it and there's no hesitation. You know exactly what to do. Here, it's a stretch. All right, but an interesting one. I have to do a little digging on what 1 inch is. Okay, let me keep moving here. I'll be 3 hours. I got Woo Wonka with Adam. Okay. I think we've looked at this before. I'm not in it, but I want to see your opinion. Okay, so let's, Woo Wonka, what are you thinking here? Woo Wonka does the splits as well. I need help counting Adam. Okay, let's see what we got here. Can I get, I got to copy that. Hang on. All right. Like your colors here. Oh, shit. Come on, get out of there. Can I get these out of here? If I double click, there we go. Okay. So, yeah, I see your point. Okay. So how do you count that? That is a bitch. All right. Where are we? Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to triangle that. All right, doesn't matter. Oh, Jesus Christ, come here. Oh, probably something along those lines. Well, okay, so let's go up a degree here. Put that in. So is that the 3 at this degree? Let's take that one down. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's a shit finish. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like you have to do that. Oh, you locked it. Do that. A, B, C, expand the B, or W, X, Y. You might have to do it that way. That's kind of a shitty 3, 4. Well, you got to use it. I think you're stuck using it. You got to use it. Oh, let's see. Now you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. So I think the 1 is there. A, B, C. You got to use it. So you got to go 1, 2, 1, 2. That's a buzzkill. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like it doesn't overlap, so you can make that work. Tricky one, right to the tick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kick in the 5th. Okay. Well, it's actually, this work is good, Woo Wonka. I don't think you're off at all here. This is shit. 5 Elliotticians probably count that differently. A, B. Oh, you're truncating there? No, maybe that's just I moved it. For the 4, probably WXY, because this is a 3. So WXY, 1, 2. That's solid. Oh, what do we do here? Well, of course, we start just when in doubt. The first thing always like, where's that 3? Okay. Boy, not much of a 2, is there? You could do it, but I see your problem, right? You say it's tempting to put the 3, 4 and click the 5 here. Let's see if we can make that work. Just on the fly here. I'm going to change that so I don't get lost on what's what. Okay, so this is a change. Not much of a 3 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A. Triangle B. I like that. That's good, Woo Wonka. It's nice, right? This is triangles usually what screws up new Elliott students. So very nice work, Woo Wonka here. A, B, C, D, E into the B, right? Triangle into the B or the X works. This is a little skinny here. What are we on? Oh shit, we're on a daily. That's good work. Okay, so A, B, C, you don't have a, that's a bummer. You got a 3, or so it looks like it's going down. So this is not done yet. So I'm much more inclined to think that something completed here, which I think is in line with what you're saying. Okay, so I think what you've got here, let's relabel that. So I think you've got a W, X, Y, potentially XC. So if we go A, B, C into a W, A, B, C, D, E into an X, looks like A, B, and we're working on the C. So we'd have W, X, Y. So I guess we can do it with 3. W, X, Y, right? So I think solves that, at least with what we've got to work with right now. That looks like the better fit. A, B, C into the W, A, B, C, D, E into the X. Now it looks like we've got the start on it here. So it looks like that's A. There's the B and a nice 3, and we're 1, 2, working on the 3, looking for that to come down. Now that's going to be kind of skinny. If indeed that's completed up here. Okay, so let's put it back together. Okay, so I'm going to push that off for a sec. All right, let's get back here. So where are we? We're trying to finish this 5. It finishes better up here, so that may not work as well. Are you going to add some money? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think he's on the right track here. That, boy, you want to call that a 4. It doesn't look like it's done yet. Well, you get an impulse there. We have to work that internally. All right, let's see if we can go back here and stay with this. So it can still be a WXY working on the 4. Maybe that is a better fit. Boy, this is a bitch of a fit. What are you going to do with that? So this would have to, okay, I think you can do it. So it looks like you'd have to do it this way. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C into the 4 for the 5. So it looks like that would work. All right, let's get that back on white. Okay, so now we get to the 3 here, which fits better with a target up here. This is just where, right, this is always the case. Where's Elliott difficult? It's in the corrections. So you've got a 1, 2, it's ugly, but this is ugly. But that's a pretty good running flat, right? So we got 3, 3, free fall into the 4. Finish the 5 up here of the 3, WXY, working on that to finish. Prior 3, 4, always a good spot to look for down a degree. All right, so somewhere in here, look for this basing action. I don't know, what are we doing here? It looks like he's just using that kind of a structure. Well, you got all of that here. What do we got over here? Got a high volume node there. Okay, so that actually is quite nice, right? So here where we're going with the 3, 4 down a degree, well, I got a high volume node here. So if you just pull that out here, it looks like a great spot to be looking for perhaps a deeper 4. I mean, obviously you'd have this here and this little area here. So some of that, let's just tee it up. 2 through the 3. 38 to the 50. I'd prefer to get it up here. But you'd want to include that lower. As we talked this morning, often right before it gets to the low volume node here, that's where you get that pivot. So that actually plays kind of nicely. This might be too far down, but as a last stand here, if it's going to go that deep here, you'd be threatening the 1. Then you'd need this to kick in. You'd be well below the Vegas wave here on a 4-hour here. So this would be quite corrective. You'd want that 50 to hold with the high volume there, but that's where I'd be a buyer. I'd do it. I think that comes down a little bit further, but you got to the price action might, if this comes down, we finish in a 5, that might cause you to take 30-40% of it here, anticipating you'd want to add here and out under the 65. You can use the wave 1 pivot as well. Out down here. So how much do you need to make that worthwhile? So if you can be a buyer here at the 50, you got a reasonable target up here. I wouldn't go below that. If you can get in here at the 50 with a stop under the 65, not a tick, not one tick, you got to give it just a little bit of a cushion. Well, there's 7.6 to 1 if you're getting the algo target. So all the more why you kind of want this to come a little bit lower so you know you're behind an algo. I don't see anything else, but I think you're, I tried to fuss with that. I think that plays better to work that as the 3, 4, 5. So you complete the 3, working on the 4. You don't want this to go down too far, right? Then it starts to lose the potential to get up here and get that. But right, so your work is actually very good, right? That's a tricky count, no question about it, right? Everybody's going to do their best guesstimate. Like, how do you deal with that? Somebody got bent over there, but it actually plays. If this is, how we do this? So you have to do it A, B, C, free fall, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's all the internals are there. A, B, C, A, B, C, D, E. Looks like A is in, B is in. 1, 2, you need it to go down further, right? If that count's going to hold, you want that down here. So again, why not start with what would be ideal? 3 right here. It'd be a pretty good kick in the 5. So once you get the 3, then you start looking here, like, am I going to need a big extension in the 5 to get that low? But you can't really make that judgment until you get your 3 in, assuming this is going to be a 3. This is going to hold here and we're not going to do something else. But you need this down, actually, right? So for a bull, the prime buying zone would be back to where I was just before, to where you know right where you are. Oh, okay, I finished. So here, let's pull this off. So what's the whole thing is coming off of this move right here, right? So how to analyze and working backwards. There's the tell right there. Okay, so this being corrective means we need to keep going, because I can't finish here. Well, shit, I suppose I could, but if this were W X, oh, pardon me, A B C, which I think was how he had it originally. Well, you're force fitting a little bit there, but this can't be your 1. I mean, that's a 3 all day. So you got to work backwards and say, okay, well, I've already taken out this next up. It's going to threaten these lows, right? That's the next up. How does it respond here? If you got another set of 3, well, then you'd be thinking it's all just, so if we were to pivot down here, we come to these wicks here and then go up here, then it's just part of a larger corrective series, but still you would want it to go down to get better clarity on the Elliott count and just to where the next opportunity would be. Because right now you're kind of stuck with, oh, well, this better finish with a 5 to give me that C. So I can go A, B, C. And this does look more like a 3, although that looks like you could, well, no, you could do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's A, B, C to give you your A, B, C to give you your B. And so this is probably a volume in Atom. So I would just be same kind of thing, right? I know the temptation is, oh, well, looks like that'd be a decent spot to be a buyer. Well, then by all means buy it. So why go through all of this, right? This detail down to the, gnat's ass of where the right opportunity is. And if it does this 3, this 5, is again, you're trying to reduce the risk. And, those kind of trades, it's not like this often, right? But today in the futures market, after I'd actually had a fairly shitty couple of weeks, well, I couldn't do anything wrong today. Just everything, right? Oh, it should pop here. Boom, popped. I think I had 13, 14 trades, and 10 out of the 13 were all solid winners. There are just times where you're just in flow with the market. It's what you think, oh, this should be the support. Let's look at an entry. And it just kind of flows here. When you're struggling, there's just no need to force a trade, right? That almost all, you kind of know when you're doing it. You can feel it. Oh, fuck, let's just see what happens, right? That kind of thinking, shit, I don't know. I can't figure it out. I want to be a buyer. Let's buy it. Okay, well, it's not that there's anything wrong with that, but you can't understand when you're doing that, you're abandoning the technicals. Now you're buying it just because you like the prospects of Atom long-term, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So decide what kind of trade you're putting on. If you're looking at the longer term here and you're like, God, this thing is a beast, right? I want to be into this because it's going to, well, the difference here between 31 and where are we trying to buy 21, this $10 difference? Well, here percentage of the asset here, that's pretty big. But in terms of if you're long-term and we're going out to a daily about where you think this thing is going, is that $10 going to make a difference? Probably not. Come out to the longer term count. Well, then, okay. So this is where you get context. So this is where it's my opinion that you get an unfair advantage in Elliott. All right, so we can see what this is trying to finish here. Okay, I'm trying to finish a one wave off of the COVID low. Okay, so if we do this, it's not. Certainly it's possible we just keep going and going and going and going, but it's not unreasonable. If we finish this and we, kind of a tough grind to finish the 5, what is the first thing we're anticipating? Not tracking with inevitability, but what's the first thing we're thinking is coming next? Right? Is that you would get a retracement. I don't have the pivot up here, but let's just use that target. So I guess my point here is don't feel like, oh shit, man, I gotta get in here. Because this is what if you get that and you get the trade here and you make some money there, great. Okay, what are you doing next? Are you just a hodler? Because if you got that, you're kind of expecting the thing to come right back down. Now that's kind of it's kind of the blessing and the curse of Elliott Wave, right? So you're thinking, oh man, if it completes that 5, look at the money I'm going to make here, which great. That's a tough trade and a tough one to take off of a tricky Elliott count. But if you get here, seriously, what are you doing next? Are you shorting it? Probably not, right? If you're a long-term bull, you like what they're all about. You like the prospects. So what are you doing? Are you just going to sit with it while you give back everything you made? While it does what assets are prone to do, not guaranteed to do, but just prone to do. Oh, look at that. Come back down here and test something like that. Are you just going to hold through all of that? I'm not offering up any easy answers for you, but it's just that you got to think it through. So, if you're in, so we're down here on this trade and you get so caught up in the, oh shit, do I have it? I think I might have it. Right. So, you get that pop and boy, what a nice trade from 25 to 65 monster trade. Great trade can make your month. What are you doing next? That's an open-ended question. I just more so want you to think about that as a trader. If you finish the 5 of the 5 of the 5 of the 1 up here, do you just go, well, yeah, I know markets are prone to do that, but not profitable position. Not in Atom. No. It's not going to hold there. Something to think about, right? In terms of how you approach your longer-term bags. Because if the thinking is, oh, I'm just going to stay with this for the next 5 years. Okay, well, so if you gave all this back, boy, you'd be in pretty serious drawdown. But if you're not trading with leverage, okay, maybe you don't care. So if it were to do that, you come down to the 50 right here, prior 3-4 down a degree. You come back down to this, maybe you get that high volume node. Boy, you're loading the boat here. But you're doing it, with a severe drawdown. Again, do you care, right? So if you're a long-term 10-year player, my son was in town. My kids were in town I had a short visit with them over the weekend, and my son, who's follows what I do, and he's not a trader. He's getting ready to go into the Navy SEALs, but he said to me, and I said I'm going to use that. He said, with Bitcoin, if you're not prepared to own it for 10 years, you're not prepared to own it for 10 minutes. You got to be thinking long term. So if you're bullish on Atom long term, maybe some of this nuance here you don't give a shit about. Oh shit, man. Oh, if it does that, well, I just load up down here. Oh, it's on sale. But if you're trying to trade the swings with this kind of precision, you're approaching a point where you're going to want to take some profit. Oh, I don't want to take profit, then I got a tax liability. Okay, well, you got to think through what are the alternates here of how you might be able to take advantage of that or hedge it or somehow that you don't just go, well, again, you don't want to find yourself is thinking, okay, well, I made some great money there. I'm going to hold and let it retrace 50% because you've now, even if you entered at the tick low here and you got that, now you're underwater here. Again, do you care? Just things traders have to think about. Will you care? Will you buy it down here? God, I hope so, right? If you're buying that little fucker and that little mess in there, I'd like to think if you got that, you're buying that. But I think also just as well, don't get so caught up, right? Atom's hot, right? If they're going to go, if there's an alt boom here, sure as hell, Atom's going to go with them. Just don't feel like you've got to be in all the time and you've got to jump in now because I'm going to miss it if I don't. Probably not. Probably not. All right, I'm going too long. Okay, let me go to Wonka. Your work was quite good there. That's a really tricky count in there. I'm not sure I have it either, right? So let's hurry up and wait. Hippie Boy back with 1 to the dollar tether. Let me see what I got here. You need me, money? Hey, Harmony? I got Harmony. Okay. Let me copy here. What are we doing? 1. Okay. Okay. I've only been in and out of this one time. Boy, this is pretty. Hippie Boy, look at that. That's as good as you get right there. He's got everything on here. I'm going to change this just so you guys can see it better. Okay, so 1 corner pocket, right? Not golden, right? We're at a 50, just a corner pocket. So boom, 80%, got that quickly. I'd put a runner on there just out of curiosity. Looks like that's the 1.5. Just to kind of hold it. No, it looks like it's 1.75. There it is. Put that on it. Just there's a sense of symmetry that I like to see, right? Oh, we tagged the 1.75. Okay, good. Back to the median line. This is, boy, what a great example here. It's just the way the markets respond around median lines. So first we get it and you get a little hover around it, right? Then back, check. Now we go to and through the outer parallel here, work our way back to the median line. Now look how it's just hugging it. I see you guys have heard me say this 1,000 times. If I could only have one technical tool, one drawing tool, one geometry tool, you could have a very, very successful trading career just using median lines. You know how to use them, right? There's only 4 trading, well, there's more, but those are the 4 dominant you got to know. Not too complicated. One sideways, relatively, looks like that's a long A, B, C. Sharp here with volatility into the 4, but it's A, B, oh, pardon me. It looks like W, X, Y, right? You got an A, B, C in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. God, it's just a shame Elliott Wave is not good in crypto. 1, 2, well, you're kind of stuck with that. 1, we should have to do 1 A, B, C into the 2. Boy, where crypto does get funky, but you see it in traditional FX, everything as well, with these liquidation wicks. But it looks like, so we lean into that as a 4. I'm going to guess Hippie Boy would have measured this. Yeah, all right, so that's a reasonable spot here. So if it's not going to be right here, that looks like a good start of it. So we got the 200 there. But I don't see another way to count that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd be curious about just this 2 through the 3. Where'd we hit? Right, 38. No, but do you see the Vegas wave coming through there? Where do we go? Right into the lips of it. 1, 2. But here's I show it every single live stream, every video I've ever done. It's always, you don't have to pick the turn. You can wait for the first retrace. Be willing to bet you that's technical as well. Take that low right in the pocket. Looks like that's a slight front run. They will do that often, right? They'll leave you hanging. You're down here trying to split the 618 and the 65, and you get left. Looks like they got it here. So to and through, second target. That looks, I mean, what a perfect 4. So I'd be inclined to put that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 3 working through. There could be one more down here. A, B, C, D. Well, it looks like it's kicking right now. 3, 4. Okay, same question. When we complete there, what do we do next? What are we trying to complete up here? Oh, he gave it to me in log scale as well. All right, so I'm glad I caught that. Right, just as a reminder, and I touched on this on Friday's Bitcoin video, where we're in this conundrum: do we use log? Do we not use log? Right. So where are the algos? Right. So there's out of log. Right. It's just a mess. So come here now. When we go, right, we go here, do we see corner pockets? Do we see golden corner pockets? Do we see golden zone holding? Do we see reactions at the 50? Do we see reactions at the target? Well, clearly we do, which is kind of the bad news. You'd rather you didn't. But you do. So you got to check both. Now, so it becomes fairly obvious when we got a range from here from 0.01 to what did we get up to? It's our high here at 26. We have the range here to support it. It's very responsive around the median, right? So clearly algorithms are responding in here on log scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we're just trying to complete that 5 here. Maybe we get a push up here to the upper parallel. Maybe we don't get there, right? Nothing says it has to go back and return to it. We got well through it here. If we get one more push up here, we complete the 1. Now, where's the 2? So let's clean this up and see what that would look like. What would you do, right? So it's kind of just the same question we were just talking about. Let's say it gets up there and finishes. Right? We get our 5 up here. Do you take profit? Do you get out of the market? What are you doing? Something you got to think about. See, it's very common if people get so caught up in the next trade here, they're not thinking about, okay, well, what am I doing big picture here? Let's just assume we get that. So you got this trade right here. Let's say you got it. You got it right. And we went up to the upper parallel. Oh, we'll use the 4 here. So, let's even give that, we'll use back to the median line. So there's 8 to 1. So you got your 8 to 1. All right. So now you got to think about, okay, all right, am I still committed to the Elliott Wave principles and rules and guidelines? Okay, because this is where it's just human nature. You're going to think to yourself, oh, well, I'm not going to sell. Look at this nice profit I've got off that last trade. Well, if you're not going to sell, well, so here. Oh, here, I'm going to hide that. We'll use traditional Elliott. Oh shit, we can't even do it because we're in log scale. That's the most annoying thing about log scale is it fucks up your geometry a bit. Not median lines, but it does with channels. So if we finish here, oh shit, you couldn't even draw it yet, but your anticipation would be after that, this is coming down. That's what you would anticipate. Wouldn't you? But what do we think just human tendency? Well, not this time. Not when I'm long and have already got a nice profit. No, it's not going to retrace 50%. So then the next thing you talk yourself into, well, it'll only retrace to the 38. Maybe, right? There's the center line of the channel that would not be unreasonable, right? And we're raging bull in the crypto space. Okay, only to the 38, but you're long here, right? Are you going to take all of that drawdown? It's kind of back to for the 5-year plan. Can't own it for 5 years, or as my son said, 10 years. You can't own it for 10 minutes. If you can't think that through. Because what you don't want to do is get up here and say, oh man, nice trade. Oh, okay. So am I taking profit here? If I'm taking profit, okay, right? Tax liability, right? So are you okay with that, or you just want to hold and then borrow against it to trade other assets? Or what is your longer term plan? I guess ultimately the point I'm trying to make, because you don't want to get so focused down here on the 2 hour and you make that trade and then you're unsure about what to do next. Oh man, I got a nice trade. Do I want to sell that? I'm not offering an answer. I'm just encouraging you to think about what you're going to do if it gets here. What's your next move? Something to think about, right? Because I can tell you what, if it's me, I'm not gonna sit through all that drawdown. Why? Why would I do that? Oh, because it won't do 50 this time because I'm long and I've got a nice profit. So it's not going to do it this time. It's just, we all think the same things, right? It's just human nature. Greed, still greed. Oh, greed's back in. Now fear. Now are you uncomfortable? Are you kicking yourself, right? So that's where you can get into that downward spiral. Oh shit, man. I should have. I could have. If your plan is to go, oh, well, I'm going to stay with it here. I'll just hold. I'll just add more down here. Different story, right? But if your plan is to ride it to that target and you sell it, okay, well then you're on hold until it gets much deeper, right? Most likely. Okay, let me keep moving. I got Joe. Joe F. I don't recognize that one. Maybe a new one, new member. Let me keep going here. I'm doing on time. We're good on time. All right, Joe F. Why feel like I should know that one, but I don't recognize the handle. Looks like he's been a member, or he's got a lot of Elliott skill. Has he been around, Monty? I don't recognize that handle. Oh, good. Oh man, yeah, I haven't seen him post here. Well, he's got some chops, that's for sure. Boy, this is nice work here. He's been watching a few of my videos here. As I do the same thing, problem spot gets circled. Okay, let's pull out here because it looks like you've got the whole thing. Boy, this is really nice. Okay, well, that's slick. Nice. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that'll work. You got a flat in there. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're kind of stuck with it, right? I see what you're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have. Oh God, can you do that? Yeah, you can. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. Ooh, that's a little dicey in there. You might have to do it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, shit, splitting hairs here. Right? Does it really matter when we're all the way over here? I just always curious to see. Clearly, he's got skills, right? So, okay, so here, this is nice, right? So think, oh wait, I must have the 3 must be over here. It must be, and then that's the 5, right? Because it's a higher high, but he's got the skill set here so he can see work backwards. Okay, so if I'm over here and I'm coming back, what did we just do? 3, 3, sure looks like that finished with a 5. It's like we're pushing that little double top right there, right? It's always amazing after the fact, right? Isn't it? You're like, oh my God, can you believe it did that, right? But somebody was just staring at that going, well, if I had to guess where it's likely to find some support, wouldn't that be where the first thing you'd guess? Wouldn't you look at that and go, whoa, shit, look at this, it's coming down. Where's it going to find support? Maybe the RSI will give me some help here. Right? So there's no Elliott aside. Right? There's just price action. Okay, here's structure. Little indicator support. Oh, could be oversold. Up it goes. So what do I get here? I get a corner pocket, right? It's way too deep. Joe, let's see here. What's our range here? It's a candidate. You could go into log. Just out of curiosity, let's see how we look here. I don't think you need to. I think we're fine. Well, since you didn't do it here, I'll stay out of it here. So let's Okay, this is a bitch. Does this price action make you think series of 1-2s or something else? So let's push that off. So this looks like he's long here, or waiting to get long here, or suggesting that's the next entry. So let's do it this way. So let's see what he's thinking. That's his entry right there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, solid. A, B, C. Now, what's interesting there, all right, look at this. A, B, long, C. Now we get the same kind of a thing here. We're going to get A, expand the B. Excuse me. Now we don't get as far here. But boy, you're kind of stuck with that. I see you're thinking. Let's go to a 2 hour, see if that helps us at all. Well, right. So often the case, right? So you guys hear me mention this. It's where the deepest corrections, right? So you almost work backwards and go, okay, so if I come back from that, obviously this was significant. It looks like a 2, so you got to work backwards and say, well, do I have a 5 here? Yes, I do. This is a correction here. It looks at first glance like a 5, but you could, it looks like you could dig it out of there. So it looks like you go A, B, C. So working backwards. Okay. So if I'm working backwards here and this is the 5 and this is the 3, working backwards. I got to have an impulse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get it. So working backwards, right? Is this the 2 or is this the 2? Well, it looks like you'd have to go 1, 2, it's skinny in there, but 3, 4, 5. That ain't great. But you'd have to do 1, 2. So you'd have to do it this way, which I would imagine, based on the way he's counted this, he would have already spotted this. You'd have to do it that way because you're kind of stuck with it. So is that a great 5? Of course not, right? It's not, right? They don't expect it to be perfect, right? We're looking for, okay, is the right sequencing here? Do I have the right definition into that? I think I do. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's iffy, right? You could have, you might have been thinking, oh, okay, wait a second, the 5's got to be up here, but it's based on what comes next. So you could have been here thinking, oh, there's my, but it's not deep enough. Again, nothing says that couldn't be the 1, 2, but it's just based on what comes after the fact. Well, now you're just going, okay, well, if this, can I make that work? 1, 2, looks like you got to go 3, 4, 5. It's not great either. Some of that's a little choppy. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, can we make that work? So we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can, although I'd put it here. So you can get that. Do you see what I'm doing there, Joe? And I'm assuming you would spot the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd have to get it that way. So you do get a lower low there. So there's your 3, A, B, C into the 4. There's the 5 of the C of the 2. 1. Well, so it looks like you'd go W, X, Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's solid. 1, 2. Oh, I see you're thinking, right? So 1, 2, series of 1, 2. So it's tricky. So I understand your comment here. Is this a series of 1, 2s? It kind of looks that way. Well, not many alts more bullish than Polkadot. 1, 2, pardon me. 1, 2. So let's just track it out. If that's the 1 and that's the 2, I'd want to push this up. Just got to put them somewhere. So I'm just going to plant it there since, whoops. So that's going to be a shallow 3. Let's just play it out. So here's Elliott hat on. Okay, so I got a shallow 3. Here, what's the algo going to do? Algo doesn't care, right? Is that a front run? Algo doesn't care. It's just going to use the dominant, right? So possibly, right? You got a little front run there off of the 50. It's always hard to tell. That's far enough to where it's iffy. Could be, right? So you'd have a slight front run here, followed by a slight front run here. It's a bit of a guesstimate. 1, 2. Well, let's see here. Let's see, can we make that work? I'm be surprised if I'm correcting his work much. 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, let's see. So do we have an alternate? 1, 2, you'd have to go 3, 4, 5 to make that work. Doesn't look like, yeah, just out of curiosity here. Can we make that work? Right. So that looks like it might not be far enough. Oh, it is. Okay. So you could make that work. Hang on. Well, we overlap. All right. It's enough. So you'd have to be thinking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It ain't pretty. You can't squeeze, you can't make it. Well, let's see. Is there an alternate in here? Well, you can't go 1, 2, 3. Right? It doesn't work because you need an impulse here. So you'd have to go. I think you're right, Joe. You're kind of stuck with this as a series of 1, 2s because this you get eliminated here. So this is, to me, right. This is a big benefit of Elliott, right? So it's very tempting to think, oh, maybe I'll just put the 3 here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a 5. What's the problem, right? With just that slight little overlap means I cannot put it there. Now, to me, that's empowering as a trader. When I can eliminate something, powerful. So it just reduces possibilities, right? Because we're kind of, it's at the end of the day, it's going to go up or it's going to go down, right? But so, I mean, we can simplify it to the point of ridiculous, right? Truly, trading can be simplified that far. But if I'm wondering, well, shit, is it going up or is it going down? Those kind of, that rule set, I lean into it because then it's one less thing I have to wonder about. Okay, can't be the 3. So if it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, well, I got a raging bull on my hands. Now this does look to me, Joe, like I want to finish this here. Like I want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's such a good impulse. And it's a clean one. So I would put the 3 here. Let me brighten that up so we can see it a little better. Which I don't know if I moved yours or not, but I'd be surprised if you missed that because that's just right in your face, right? So here's the one we don't have to wonder about. Okay, I don't have any question mark in my mind as to what happened there. Okay, I got a clear impulse into my 3. So then just for a sweetener, just so I really lean into it. We're not quite there. It's a little front run on the target. Interesting. The 618 is right on the target, but certainly it's far enough here. And based on that price action here, so I can even finish it 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I've got a good 3 here. So 1, 2 can't be 3. So it's got to be 1, 2. So this gets really bullish, right? In like, I don't like finding this in Bitcoin. It's the same thing. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It just starts to feel ridiculous, but so all you can do is start thinking to yourself, okay, either I'm miscounting this and maybe this is a diagonal of the 1. Oh, I suppose you could probably sort that out. I don't think we could, right? So I'm just trying to use this as an example here. Could we go 3, overlap the 1, right? So I was thinking, could we do a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 diagonal? But this looks like a better 5. So I think you're stuck with it. Well, what I just did there on the fly is kind of part of the process that an Elliottician is going to go through. Because immediately, if you think you've got it, then you got to start disproving it. Let's say, where am I wrong? What else could it be? Before you putting on a trade, you're going to try and pick apart your analysis and say, am I wrong? Where do I have it wrong? Could it be that I've got a diagonal going in? Because this sure looks like, oh, that. Come here. This sure looks like it could be a 3. So 1, 2, 3, overlap the 1, but it doesn't, when you really dig into that subdivision, it doesn't quite work. And that's your buzzkill right there. You can't work that. You can't work that as an impulse. So you're stuck with 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So to put that here, let's put these in, oh shit. Let's go. So this would, here, I have to go up a degree here. Let's go. Guys, this is always a good idea to do this because it'll just save you if you start getting lost as to where you are in the count. So get everything. So we're minuet, sub minuet, micro, sub-micro. So you get all of the waves here in alignment here. Other things, just especially when you've got all these 1-2s, wick up. Well, here I've essentially got a double top. Wick off the ones, right? Because it's going to save you time later if it overlaps here, or you get something like this, right? Where it kind of screws the monkey in the wrench of what your count was. Always good to have those dialed in. So 1, 2. So where am I trying to get? I'm trying to get that 3. All right, so that's going to be pretty good rip up here, right? So we're already going for, well, there would be the 2618, which is going to be a pretty good rip. So you might be going beyond that relative to this 1-2 right off the bat. I'm just curious how that's going to look. Outside runner here. So this is mighty steep. This is deep. This is steep. So still not to that. So I've got a corner, right? It's higher than the high. So I've got a corner still seeking that median line. Now, right as you stare at that, right? So the first thing that ought to occur to you is if I don't get there, right? Failure to make the median line sets up a move equal to or greater than the move that failed to get there, but we're not, it's too soon to go there. So 1, 2, I'm still seeking this 3. Pardon me. I'm seeking this 3 up here. All right, well, let's play this out. So I'm going to assume that's not done yet. We're seeking that 5 right there. Well, let's see, that you could be done right there with the 4. That's not the most ideal setup to it, but it actually doesn't look terrible. Now, what are we on, a 2-hour? So that could be the 4, although that's kind of a free fall wick. I suppose, right now, right? Remember, it's just always Elliott Wave. It's just a snapshot in time. Right now, that's what I got to work with. Is that good enough for a trade? Well, that looks like that's already beyond the golden zone. All right, so you're pushing 786, right? Doesn't kill it as a 2, right? You got a nice little cluster bomb here. So, okay, we got a little cluster here. If this holds, I wouldn't take it, right? So I know I've lost the small algo there. I've lost that. So I can't get another one here until I get out of here and I get some. So maybe I get a 1, 2, and I can pick one up there, and then I can get into my 3rd here because I'm seeking this. Well, I'm seeking the 5th of that 3rd. So if that's done, and that's not a bad looking spot for it, just out of curiosity. Well, let's just measure it. Right. When in doubt, first thing you do, start measuring. Okay, 38 for the 4. Perfect. Right now, that's got to be 1, 2. If it rolls over, then you're thinking, oh shit, W, X, Y. But the reason you want in a clean impulse, right? You want the 4. You don't want the 4 going so deep. Right now, do you understand why? So 2 things. 1, the deeper the 4, the less probable that you're going to get a big punch in the 5, and the more probable you're set up for a double top or just a very slight push beyond the 3. In this case, you see, in this case here, if you came golden zone here, well, okay, so you'd have this as your target. You've got that upside target here, but it becomes less probable if the 4 is that deep. Now, or if we go golden zone, now you've overlapped the 1, and so it just becomes more problematic for you. As an Elliott trader, you want that 4. So this actually wouldn't be a bad trade right here because you could use that pivot as the low, or pardon me, as your stop. Now, would I take it there? It might be a little soon. Well, look at the risk. This is why we like this, right? This is why we're retracement traders, because we're much closer to the stop, right? The risk is lower. So for me, I look at this and go, all right, if you stop me out there, okay, I'm not crying in my Cheerios. All right, do I care? Well, of course I care. But you're not going to knock me out. You can't hurt me here. You can't hurt me. Oh, maybe I get some slippage and I'm pissed, but you're not blowing my account up. Okay, so if I take this right here, and I'm just trying to get into this maybe the 1 of the 3, right? So you're expecting more upside here. So from this pivot, you are now expecting it would be a requirement that I get a series of dominance, right? We're going to have some retrace here and some other pivots in the retraces here, but you're looking for you're demanding of the market here. If this analysis is going to be correct, that I get a series of higher highs and higher lows. Has to happen, or this is incorrect. So if I'm going to be incorrect, I want to be as incorrect and lose as little as I possibly can. If this is the 4 and this is the 1, 2, well, here, okay, let's use a reasonable target. How about the most common location for a 3? Right? If that's one, let's label it up. All right. So is there a trade here that's worth taking? I'm going to get that. I can't see those. Here, I'll put it yellow. Okay. 1, 2. Is that worth it for me? Okay. Let's say I get the 618. What do I got there? Let's use, let's be precise. That's pretty good. Okay. So I got 6.8 to 1. Now, if I get stopped out and I take out that pivot, something else is happening here. So this and the way it's currently labeled cannot be correct. This would have to be likely a W. Oh shit. I mean, I suppose, right? You could have this. You could have this and then go down into a Y. You could, but then there we are again thinking about, okay, what are all the things that could go wrong with this trade? Well, does this have to be the 4? Well, so you might be thinking, oh, okay, ABC into a W, and we're going to go ABC. Or so again, this is thinking, what could go wrong? How could I be wrong in my trade? Well, if this does a 3 and we don't get the push up here to confirm it as a 3, and I just get a little sideways 3, maybe I break that high, but I just get a little sideways 3 before I start to retrace. Well, just think, okay, now I'm thinking, oh, I know what it is. It's a WXY. Well, but look what that just did to your impulse. Right now you're trying to complete that thing like this: 2, 3, 4, 5. Starts to lose, right, the nice symmetry you'd be looking for. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. It's just the count and the shape of what you're looking for. The trades where, like this, where you're just in it and you're just in tune with the market, right? You can just see it happening. Okay, there's the self-contained impulse that we're looking for. When we start going sideways this far from the 1, 2, and we're going way out here, we get some sort of triangle or something, it's just going sideways. I want out. Because this is the trade I'm looking for. Always. Rip. The meandering could be, well, let me not talk myself into it, kind of a trade. As soon as you feel yourself doing that, well, it could be, maybe that's just going to be an extra wide 4. Get out of the trade. Because likely the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to go from bad to worse. When you're talking yourself into, well, I suppose that could be a WXY, XZ out here. And sure, that's still, maybe I'm still in that 1, 2. Get out of the market. Just move on. Next trade. Don't force anything. Even I know it's polka dot and you're like, God damn it, I want to be. If you just want to be in polka dot, just get in. 5 years, 5 minutes, 5 months, right? If you can't hold it for 5 years, don't hold it for 5 minutes. Again, that's that hit me as a good way to look at it, right? So if you just want to be in, get in, right? So you could look at this and say, well, shit, man, this is not a bad place to be a buyer. I got a 5-year plan. So what's the difference where I'm a buyer here at 39 or 33? 5-year plan makes 0 difference. Whoops. The 4 and the 5 still to come, right? So there might be, if it doesn't make it back to that level, perhaps there's a higher level here that he might find on a weekly or a monthly. So he's looking at very long-term support and resistance levels, which the market is very prone to responding to. So 1, 2, it would be a great looking 3 here, but take note here, right? Because of its 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you're not done. Well, see, pardon me. Right, this is why you got to change those degrees. So that actually has to come up a degree. And this has to go up another degree. Right, so there's a good example here where you can screw yourself up if you're losing track, especially with all the 1, 2s. You got to make the degree change here so you don't get lost. Okay, so we're trying to complete this 5, which completes this 3, 1, 2, 3 here. We're still seeking. This is really bullish. We're still seeking this 5, or pardon me, this 3 up here before we go 4. So here, to get it all back together, let's brighten that up. What have I not used here? We'll go to white here. So 3, 4, 5, trying to get that 3. Boy, is this bullish, right? We're getting very bullish here. So all of this started from Joe getting us started here. Is it 1, 2, 1, 2? It sure does look like it is. Well, let's put all the 1, 2s together, right? So the big 1, 2 off of this 2. Well, holy shit, that's a lot of 1, 2s. If this is the monster 1, 2, I got to go back to the 8 hour to get this. Look how many 1, 2s this is. 1, 2. What, can it get any more bullish? And of course, what we're still trying to get at this degree is the big 3. Now, you could go through all of that and go, holy shit, I just want to buy it. Right, and sit and stay long here. So he's giving you the option here. If it's going to, I'm going to push this up, Joe, here. Right, if this is going to just play as 1, 2, holy shit, this is so bullish. You start losing track, right? So you got to put the big one up here. Where are we at? We're be at $100, right? Which you could easily envision in an alt run that Dot gets there. Boy, this is good work. This, Jesus Christ, this actually has to go up a degree too. Intermediate here. This has to go up a degree to primary. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2. Looking for that 3 here still, 4, 5 to give us the monster 3. So this, we'll probably just hide that. So what is it we're trying to do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we're trying to do to get that 3 relative to this one. Here, let's put those in yellow. 1, 2, 3. That's what we're after. So do you want to dick around into all of that? Well, that's again, what kind of trade do you want to, what kind of trader are you? How do you want to approach the market? What's your risk tolerance? Are you trading with leverage? These are all right. Do you want to hedge, right? In case you're wrong here, as Monte Crypto is just suggesting now on Bybit, you've got that option, right? So for example, if it were to complete this 3 up here and you're still waiting for the 4 and the 5, you might hedge that just in case. Right now, there are times where you can get yourself into, you can complicate a situation and make it worse, not better. So you got to be careful, right? It goes a little further, and then you bail on the long, and then you think, oh well, I'll stay with the short, and then it goes up and finishes. Careful doing that, right? That's not for the inexperienced. 1, 2, we're trying to get to that 3. That's right now with all the 1, 2s in there. Even though we took that through a lot of different degrees, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the heart of what you're trying to get to up here. Off of this 1. All right, now you can be really granular and get, dig into this and say, okay, well, when that completes, I'm going to wait for the 4. Or you can just say, hey, I'm a buyer at the 2 because I know I got a good candidate up here for the 3 to give me that 5. So you'd be into the 2 looking for the 3 of the 5th of the 3rd on the way to the 3rd of the 3rd of the 5th. I know it's impossible to actually. All right, so nice work, Joe. This has really been good, and a lot of lessons in here, a lot of just good work here. Right? So welcome to trading. Right, nobody told you it was going to be easy. As a matter of fact, I try and emphasize to you guys how hard it is. This is not easy, right? There's no easy money in here. All right, I should keep moving. Okay, good. That's really nice. Glad to see you contributing, Joe. Welcome to the party. I don't know where you've been. That's really nice work. Okay, hang on a second. I'll be right back. Just 2 seconds. God, there is a setting in that nest you've got to show me, Monte Crypto. It was just at 78 degrees. Okay, so here's our last little push, right? That's what we're trying to do. Okay, I think we covered the shit out of that. Oh, all right, well, we have plenty of time here. So I've got, I love to see Trade Diva down under going into some crypto. So she's got key to the dollar tether, self-key. Oh, I don't know this one either. So many cryptos, so little time. All right, what are you looking at, Trade Diva? Long term. Typically more of an FX trader, but I'm glad to see she's delving into some crypto. Self-key. Do you know this one? Self-key? Yeah, I don't know this one. Sounds like it's control your keys. Okay, so she's giving me, let's see. So how does she do this here? Any notes here? She's giving me Yeah. Oh, okay. So I just was not sure how to separate them. Okay. So, I like this. So we got a squeeze. Oh, those look like they're kind of wonky here. So we've got RSI. We got two RSIs. Okay, good. So I'm going to pop that open just so we can focus over here. All right. Well, this is some pretty looking work. Now, so right off the bat, just looking at that, does anybody else immediately feel like they wanted to take it to log scale? That's the first thing that occurs to me, just looking at it here, given the range. 0.0005 to 36. So, right, I would do this just to kind of clarify where I am. It will open it up a little bit more rather than if we're back here, like how do I make sense of that initial bit, right? So sometimes, you might be doing it just to try and get a handle on just the wave separation. Boy, that's a rough start. Well, there's your low. So she's right here. So it looks like, that's going to be tied to, where are you tied to there? Is that the pull in log? No, what's she pulling from? Well, so this is like so many alts, this is uber bullish, right? So do you see where we are here? So if this is 1, 2, it's not going to be 3 or so. Oh, she's got a wolf range on this. Okay. All right. Let me see what she's doing. Okay. So she's got wolf range here with some upper targets. I got it. Okay. So she's looking at range expansion. Well, so just out of curiosity here, that's not going to, so if I put that right there, there's the 200. I'm just going to, not to be difficult here, but I'm just curious if I do it that way. Let's pop up into log. You got to get those spot on. I don't see any advantage to doing it that way. Typically with wolf range trade diva, here, shit, I fucked it up. It's a series. So let's take that off. So let me do it this way. So I usually it's the first pivot, right? So you're looking for, so do you see how I went from the swing low to the first pivot high to the first swing high? I get there. I'm right on it. Okay, so here's the 100, right? So then it's a series of taking it higher. And maybe you did this, right? And I'm going to end up in the same place. But with that now identified, now I go here to the 100. Okay, so now this is the new range expansion. Well, it's a little sloppy up here, pretty damn close here. And then I'd be looking for these upper targets. And then the next thing I'd be looking for is the 400. So pretty damn good. So I can kind of see why you were heading that direction. Range, right, within a few ticks, pretty solid. But there's our wolf range lesson of the day. But let me come back to traditional. Let's go to that one. Okay, so 1, 2 can't be 3. So 1, 2 of a, well, let's take it out to a daily. Well, these guys certainly have a bullish looking chart. Well, so here's what we're looking at. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, all just super bullish. So let's go into the last set of 1, 2. So here's the corner she's working off of, and that being, well, you'd have to go. So here's the low. Okay, so now I'm catching up. It takes me a minute. I'm getting clear on what you're doing. Okay, now I see what you're doing. Okay, so note here now again, right? We are in log scale now. Is the algorithm responding at the golden zone? I'm with you. I wish it wasn't. Right, it's just one more thing you have to check. One golden zone, right? So we have a golden corner here. Well, we have it two ways. I wouldn't, since this is getting the golden zone, I wouldn't ignore this one. I'd pay attention to this one too, Trade Diva. Right, since we're in this series of 1, 2s, so you might, what I would do here with this one, well, whichever one you want to choose, this one is the more bullish, so that will take longer to put that into play. since here, this is the framing, this is the swing that gave you the golden, I'd work with this one as the 1-2, since this is the start of this one. So you're getting a corner on your 2. Now 1-2, it's a long way to go to get there, right? If we're going to go up here, but you can kind of see how that might be what we're into. So what a super bullish count. Well, okay, so Trade Diva, it's not like you to not label that. Oh, every now and then you guys give me something that looks just like that. Okay, so let's get that labeled. Okay, so now let's go into a 4. Holy smokes. Okay, so we're coming off of this for our golden corner. That's our 2. Okay, so it looks like we got a double top into the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we use that? We'd have to either do it here or A, B. Oh, it looks like you can go W, X, Y. So A, B, C. All right, I'm with you there. 1, 2. Let's just label it up. Okay, there's the 3. A, B, C into the 4. Whatever that is, the 5. You have to dig your 1, 2 out of that. There's the 4. There's the 5. Okay, so there's the. Looks like we're pulling. What are you pulling from? Okay, so she's using this pivot to this low to give me that golden zone. Okay, have a look here. So, all right. So do you see this, guys? That we're coming from this pivot. Oh, what's she using? This pivot here. We got a golden zone here. Then this one looks like it's tagged. So this one looks like it's that one. So she must be pulling here to here. That's to and through. What is she pulling? Oh, that's probably out of log. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, so she's out of log here. I was in log. Okay, so there we are tagging the goal. Well, fuck, this actually even makes it worse, right? So we're seeing it hit in log and out of log. Well, we know it's going to hit out of log. All right, let me stay with your thinking here that we can do this if we focus now on this lower degree. We can focus out of log. Okay, so 1, 2. I'm going to take that up a degree so we see it better. Okay, 1, 2, 3, sloppy diag, but it works, right? So we get a leading diag. Okay, so 1. This is gnarly. Oh, let's call it W, X, Y into the 2. That'll work. Let's take that. Okay, 1. A, B, C. Oh, fuck. A, B, C. Let's simplify. A, B, C into the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nice leading diag into that golden zone, right? So here's the golden zone right here. Here's one golden zone, and then there's a second one here, right? Do you see the 618? Okay, so let's pull some of these off, or we'll hide them. Okay, so this one, let's hide that. Okay, so I know you got all those, Trade Diva. Okay, so 1, 2. So here she's got, where are you going here? You're going on the retrace. So we're retracing from that 1, which is from that pivot. Okay. So this is the alert, right? So she's recognizing that, okay, we're going to find some resistance up here at that golden, 50 or golden zone. There's a target down here. So we got to be mindful of that. So 1, 2, so classic Elliott channeling here, we didn't get out. So 1, 2, we're stuck in the same channel. So 1, 2, 1, 2 seems to be the only, I'm going to hide that as well, just to focus on where we are. So if this is 1, 2, 1, 2, well, that makes sense. We'd be looking for the 3, 4, and 5 up here. So this is good work. 1, 2. Let's put the 3 in our high probability zone. Maybe we get the channel. All right, that's what you're trying to do with the 1, 2 channel, is to get a test from above at the top of the channel for the 4. So we got a good, I wouldn't shy away from this either, even though it's deep. I got a confluence point here, so that starts to get interesting. All right, maybe back to the 75 or prior structure here, or the channel here. You just need a 3 to come down here. Maybe you may not go 3, right? You may only just get to the median line. You never know until you see it, right? So there's the bet. That's actually a good example here. So let's hide that one. So do you see how we've got both the median lines and the channel, which is, well, shit. I mean, our Ninja, we have this tool that if you just draw these, it'll do it automatically for you. So I'm kind of used to being able to just do that, which is I went to grab for it. So in Ninja, we can just take the low to the low, and it will automatically draw the channel and the set of pitchforks here, which is kind of nice. Here you just have to add them both manually. But do you see how you have two sets of geometry tools here that are applied? Either one, you don't know which one's going to play here, because if this is 1, 2, we're seeking that 3. So might be that we're going to go even further, because if that's 1, 2, well, let's just do it. If this is the she's going to have hers done this way. If that's the 1 and this is the 2, well, here's the 3 that we're looking for here. So maybe we get a 200 out of this one. Maybe we're up here. You see what I'm going off of here? If this is the 1 and we're going to come down here, maybe we go golden zone here, some of this chop, some of this structure, high volume node. If that's going to be the 2, well, here I'm just using the negative 100 to eyeball for the 3 of that next degree. All right, so this would be 1. So here, let me label it. So this has to go up a degree. Let's put that in. What are we not used here? Let's go light blue. Okay, so 1, 2, we're looking for this 3. So we got to get this labeled here. Here. This is 1. This is 2. This would be 3, 4, 5. Now let's get that. Let's go to micro and green. Okay, so so we've got 1, 2. 1, 2, seeking that 3 here, right? So this would go up here. This would go over here. So this all starts to get self-key, starting to look pretty interesting. All right, so it looks like this is all pretty well teed up. So 1, 2, 1. Now, what's the next trade? Well, again, we don't know, but look, so there's some nice price action in there. Let's go down to the 1. It's a little gnarly in here. We can get rid of that. So if that's the 5, oh shit. This must not have a ton of volume based on the wicking. Based on this, looks like this doesn't get a lot of volume just yet. Anyway, let's get that on the low. 1, 2. Well, there's really no other way to count that. You're kind of stuck with this diag here of the 1. But wow, is that? See, I don't want to see that this makes me uncomfortable with any asset that's prone to doing this. Who knows, right? What's going on there? It just says to me lack of liquidity. So we can look here and say, all right, wait a minute. Did we already correct? We may well have. Why do I want to fatten those up for some reason. Jesus. There we go. Okay. Really? Then this is doesn't that look like low volume is what's causing that? Or it's just, boy, but they are raping retail with that kind of price action. Holy shit. Well, so you're kind of stuck. Well, let's see. So first thing, let's go to the line chart. See, is that any better? It's not a ton better. But the 3, 4, and the idea of the 5. So is our correction done? Jesus. I don't like to see that. Well, we're kind of stuck. What are we going to do here? So you'd have to go. Boy, so we opened here. A, B. Whew. Let's say I love that. So if you're in here, well, we can't look at the Vegas wave. Hold it. Interesting. All right. So if the correction is over here, although boy, is that unusual, that I wouldn't trade that. That would be too wonky for me. But just out of curiosity, what do we do here? Right to a 50. There's not much. So here, there's going to be very little support. You're not going to have any support until you get down a little bit lower, because it just went straight up, straight down. So there's nothing in here. This is going to be tied to, that's visible range here. So there's going to be other stuff there here. So if I get all the way in and we include, so if you're using visible range, you can just, if you want to focus on that 1, 2, I'd want to see it come down at least to something like this, where I've got something I can lean into. Boy, that's high risk here to me. Look at the move. It's not, these are pennies, but it's the percentage. Would you call that 2? Boy, what the alternate would be, we're just in the process of a wicked 3, right? We're going to come down lower and then go. I'd feel better buying it down here where I have this base rather than trying to guess where I am here. That's just me. Anything other way to count that? I think we're kind of stuck with that. Well, so right now you'd have to put it there, but I wouldn't. This is too wick heavy for me to trade that. Again, give it to me. Let this die down. So if it was gonna, I never get that thing. If it was gonna do some of this, and then we're gonna start to die down a little bit, then maybe I could take it. But this is just this. That's too much risk for me, right? So let's just say you bought it there. Where are you going to put your stop? Down here? It's too much. So you're going to need a big ball here. Well, here, let's see, 3 to 1 would be a minimum here. So let's just use that pivot there. Boy, that's not enough here for me to. I like it a whole lot better if I could get in down here or something like this. Because I'd have bigger upside. If this went A, B, and I came down here into some of this basing action, I would like that a whole lot better. Somewhere